Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Muhammad, for making this event happen with such brilliant minds and gatherings. So, Mats. شغال؟ Okay. Sabah al-khair. Good morning, everyone. I would like to start by thanking Muhammad for having us in this event, such a distinct group today. And we would like to take today about Bitmal, which is a startup that it was originally a paper that I wrote during school, and it evolved throughout time. And we're hoping that this is the right time to prime it and launch it. So I thank you again for the opportunity to showcase Bitmal today. So what is Bitmal? Bitmal is a different way to think about resources, a different way to think about finances. It's a different way to think about value. In the capital world we live in today, we capture value by associating it to an economic return. However, there is many ways where people can contribute and create value, and technology allows us today to capture that kind of value. It doesn't have to be economic, it could be different types of value. And this is what Bitmal is trying to do. So we'll preview some statistics on the industry as a whole, and then we will talk about what Bitmal is and what its philosophy and motivation, and then how does that work. So $410 billion are given to charities every year. That's a US statistics only. So you can imagine what are the global numbers when it comes to spending. This number grows this was from 2017, and it grows at 5% per year. 25% is the number of adults who volunteer. Again, we're relying on a lot of numbers on the United States because it's the available statistics. The financial value of volunteering is $193 billion contributed by communities. Online giving is a new trend, and it has reached $31 billion in 2017, and it's growing at 12% rate per annum. Global foundation assets, a staggering $1.5 trillion in the fourth sector. So it actually represents a huge component of the capital system that we live in today. If we talk about the kingdom in Saudi, there is some of the statistics that are available. 14.3% of KSA young volunteer between the age of 15 and 34. The average volunteering hours is 52.7 hours. And reasons for volunteering spread around the spectrum between selflessness and patriotic duty as the top reasons to volunteer. The number of social enterprises in the kingdom, when we talk about micro enterprises, we're talking about 385,000 enterprises, and the numbers go smaller as the organization gets bigger. So the idea of Bitmal is to create a reward system and incentive system to contribute to the community. The theory of change here is, in order to have scalable impact, we have to have collective action. And the two key words in that theory of change is scalable and collective action. When we talk about scalable, we're talking about increasing the number of volunteers and people who would like to contribute to the community. We are talking about wider demographics. We're talking about the youth, the seniors, the middle-aged, all sectors of the community. We're talking about a higher return on social investment. And we're talking about diverse means of social contribution. We tend to think that we are limited to our contribution to the community by our financial resources, but the reality is there is different ways to contribute and leverage and give back. And also, the more people contribute and participate in that system, the higher the multiplier effect is. And we get, because of the data and the number of people that participate in the system, we have more data and better decision making. When it comes about collective action, Bitmal is an integrated economic system, which means we're trying to create this ecosystem that contains a number of components. We're creating a social currency, a marketplace, and channels of resources and design thinking. We're creating a standard unit of account, which is the Bitmal. We're creating technology and infrastructure to create a seamless experience when it comes to payment and participation. And technology allows us to bring more transparency to the system. There is 4 main components of the Bitmal ecosystem, or the integrated social economy of Bitmal. The number 1 is the social currency. Number 2 is a marketplace for philanthropy and social contributors. Number 3 is technology, and which is represented by blockchain. And the reason we're using blockchain is not that because it's a buzzword or because it's trendy to use blockchain, but there is certain features of blockchain that contributes to the efficiency of the system. Blockchain provide much more transparency than ever existed, and more authentication of transactions. And in the social world, as you all know, trust is a very important factor to believe in what you're doing, or to give you the believability that allows you to participate and be part of that system. And the 4th component is the governance system, which also makes the system more credible and it guarantees to the stakeholders that their resources are put into the right cause. Bitmal has 3 main objectives as a technical platform. 1 is to create a global social currency and marketplace for social contribution. 2 is multiplying the impact of social contribution. And 3, improving the quality and effectiveness of social work. There is a value proposition. The stakeholders of the social system are plenty. There's the volunteer and the social entrepreneurs. We have the financial contributors and social projects and entrepreneurs and foundations, governments, and the community. And for each segment of the stakeholders, there's a certain value proposition that Bitmal can bring. For volunteers, it brings efficient access to volunteering opportunities. It matches up people with the right opportunities for them. It cuts their cost of doing volunteering and doing social work to their community. 2, it multiplies the impact, because first you will volunteer and support a social cause. Then you will be rewarded with Bitmal points, which you will use to support another social cause. There is recognition and gamification, a ranking system for how much people are contributing. What we're trying to do is to outsource the process of decision-making to the community. Instead of having a centralized decision-making process, now it's going to be outsourced to the community, and people will have more influence according to how much they participate. And by bringing that component, it makes it more appealing process and make people want to participate in that system. And also, there's a lower transaction cost of actually doing good to the community. For financial contributors, you will have wider options for selection, more efficiency, ability to incentivize others to participate, so the process is not just limited to those who actually to financially donate. Also, you will earn the ranking and the recognition that a financial contributor might be seeking, multiplying the impact of your contribution, and creating innovative formulas for loan providers by integrating that into the system. Social projects, alternative access to resources, exposure to the social market, more relevance to the community needs. Open innovation, you are not limited by the de facto organization that actually provide to the community. And community alignment, because no longer people are doing good because for no clear reason, but it's going to be aligned with what the community is seeking. For the government, it's higher scale to tackle challenges, increasing social work capacity by incentivizing everyone in the community to participate, more transparency, real-time data, and incentivizing community participation. And of course, for the community, where you have better social outcome and matching the skills with the required needs. What is the Bitmal key milestone? It's, as I mentioned earlier, it started as a paper that I was writing during school time. And then we have actually participated in the MIT Media Lab competition, which qualified to the final stages. In 2017-18, we participated in a blockchain lab competition at the World Bank, where 75 concepts were presented and 7 were chosen, and fortunately, Bitmal was one of those projects. We were featured at the New Markets Lab in association with Georgetown University. And we have partnered with Chainvisory and GoChain, which are established blockchain protocols in San Francisco. And we're also working with the IFC and a number of organizations, مثل رواد التنمية in Jordan, where we conducted some of the pilots on the project. We're currently finalizing, we're supported by STC Telecom in Saudi, and now we're finalizing a general and a bigger framework in cooperation, as well as with Mythic Capital. And finally, we have partnered with Wazin Consulting to bring that concept into reality and scale it up. And they've been very helpful. And I wasn't gonna say that, but Salim asked me to do so. So thank you, Salim, for all your support. So if we look at the Bitmal ecosystem, it has 4 major components: the governance system, the Bitmal Foundation, the Bitmal Marketplace, and the digital platform. When it comes to the foundation, this is where it's going to be driving and enabling. Governance system is recognition as sustainability for the system. The digital platform is where you see growth and acceleration. And then the social marketplace, where the actual value creation happens. So how does Bitmal work? I can go through this extensive illustration, but I would rather show a video.
More than 3 billion people live on less than $2 per day. More than 1 billion illiterate. More than 50 million refugees. This is only a sample of many challenges that face our world today. The world needs its people to contribute to their communities. A major challenge facing social action is the fact it's chaotic. Only few can provide resources in a consistent manner. But it is not just about resources. People with skills cannot contribute to the community easily due to the difficulty of finding a proper match for their skills and due to lack of incentive. Social entrepreneurship requires a system that guarantees optimum efficiency and sustainability. Individual initiatives are not enough. What is Bitmal? Bitmal is a social currency, a new way to think about skills and creating value. Bitmal is the building block of a system that prioritizes the needs of the community as a whole, in contrast with the capital system that prioritizes personal needs. How to earn Bitmal? Mohammed deposits $100 to the system. It gets transformed into 200 Bitmals. Based on Mohammed's currency exchange rate, a specific portion is to be deposited into Mohammed's preferred treasury, Riyadh's treasury, for example. The rest goes into Mohammed's virtual wallet. Sarah is a computer network expert and she lives in Riyadh. She decides to volunteer 50 hours of her skills to a charitable foundation in Riyadh. In exchange for her services, Sarah will be rewarded 60 Bitmal from the Riyadh treasury. Mohammed earns Bitmals because of his financial contribution. Sarah earned Bitmal because of her time contribution. How to spin Bitmal? Abdul pitches his social project on Bitmal platform with a set target to raise capital and effort. Mohammed and Sarah think Abdul project is an important one, and therefore they contribute their Bitmal to Abdul project. The Bitmal exchange rate for Mohammed and Sarah will improve based on their contribution to the community. Through the Bitmal platform, Abdul was able to raise sufficient funds and skills to execute his social project. Abdul commits to full transparency in developing his project by sharing all the spending information with the community. This transparency will allow Mohammed and Sarah to monitor and evaluate their contribution to the community. We need collective action by all members of the society in order to have a scalable social impact. This is what Bitmal is about.
So perfect timing where the time has ended. So I'd like to thank you again for the opportunity, and please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or challenges or whatever you have in mind.